What's up, everybody? Good evening. How are you doing? This is Mike Watson in the building for Dear Creative, a brand new episode of Dear Creative, where we are definitely doing a lot of new things, a lot of cool things, just switching it up today. And as you know, this is like the third episode of Dear Creative, working it in this format, and I am still getting the hang of it. I found some other things, I hope that transition was smoother. I'm sharing now. Try to do that while the transition from the video to this. This is a lot. I'm gonna need a guy or gal behind the chair. I'm gonna need that very soon here. So join me live today, right now. All right, now let me grab. Oh, we're just gonna put that up there. Yep. And we're going to now the smartness in me, because I can be smart sometimes. I decided to incorporate my Hootsuite to get some of this sharing done. Yeah. Okay, so didn't see that coming here. That's fine. That only takes a quick second. Bear with me while I get everything set up here. Well, not everything. Most stuff is already set up. Everything I need to get this show crack-a-lacking is taken care of. We're going to use that. Get that uploaded. And now we're going to post it. All right, so that's shared on that. Then, I'm going to hit my normal Wingbang Places Twitter. Got that copy and posted. Tweet. We're going to hit the good, the nerd, and the good, the bad, and the nerdy with the little tweet. Let's see. We got 4 comments coming in here. All right. Shaggy's here. I added a question to Mike's question on Facebook. All right, Shaggy, I'll get that. Daniel's in the building. He says, good evening. Massive Panda says, what's up, Mike? What's up, Massive Panda? And why is it? It says there are 0 people here since when? Don't I count as a person? I just think it's a little slow, Andy. I think it's a little slow on the catch up. I will grab Andy's question so I can add it in here. I have, bam. I got that in order. Boom. We got that right there, right? So I'm done with that. So we're about to switch out. And hit different medias here. And we're looking good on YouTube. Questions are going to start popping up here. Okay. Not as hectic as before. Share this on the Facebook page so those can join in. I know Mike, another guy named Mike, wanted to join in. Just bear with me, my little spinny wheel of colors here. If you've seen Toy Story, the lollipop. Was that in Toy Story 4? It was in some movie we just watched. All right, so that's just running a little slow. So let me close that. So that's closed. Let's see if that. No, it's not helping. Twitter, Facebook. Oh, there we go. Join me live right now. Put that in my story. I don't know why the computer, these things that I think are just so simple for a computer to do. The computer acts like it is the biggest headache. It's like, just share my link, man. Don't make this difficult. Just share my link. I got people here want to be part of the show. Let's get it crack-a-lackin'. And I have my phone here. Okay, looks like that was shared. And good. I will be multitasking as we get on here. So, changing up some things, switching up the format of Dear Creative. All right. It is still at its heart a show for indies, by an indie, making comic books, giving you an inside look into the life of making comic books. So that is still the thing. But hey, I'm not going to lie. I want to expand the audience. I want to get more people in here. I want to get more people watching, more people involved. So I've decided that we're going to add some mainstream elements to the show to have discussions about that stuff. I will flip it and add the creative perspective to some of it. Some of it may just be my fandom and me being a geek, whether I'm excited or not about something or whatnot, or just having discussions. Because that's what the show at its heart is all about. As you know, if you seen my setup before, you would know that post the photo. Ah, you will know that I'm all about my station setup like the Enterprise or whatnot. But we're just gonna roll into it and get it popping. If I can do one last thing, I got all my tabs open here. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. So, first off, let's talk about what premiered today, and I'm super excited about it. Freaking Mulan, the trailer popped up today, and man, can I tell you right out the gate, I think it looks awesome. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I was concerned that they were talking about not putting Mushu in there, not singing the songs. But after seeing this trailer, I see what they're going for, and I don't care. I don't care. Like, bring it on. Like, this movie looks looks incredible. First off, just like super exciting, a nice flick. Where and I could be wrong, and I could be reaching. It's just a teaser trailer. But my instincts off bat looks like, so we have a strong female lead who she obviously does not want to be caged and captive and follow tradition. Obviously, that's the story of Mulan, but she's not really depending on anybody. She's depending on herself, and she is a massively dope warrior, and she's got her wits and her strength and her determination and her focus, and she's out there fighting like, oh my god, this trailer is great, and I cannot wait to take my daughters to go see this trailer, because Mulan is a great classic animated film. We love it, but I'm really digging this iteration, and what I'm hearing, a rumor not confirmed or anything, is that there are no songs in here. They're solely there as instrumentals, and I'm about it. If you're gonna do the live action, all right, let's do the live action. Let's switch it up a little bit. Disney has been changing things here and there in their live action movies from the animated film, so you're not getting the exact same thing. And you know what? They've been winning at it, whether you think it's a cash grab or not. Amani, what's up in the building? Mulan is the only live action movie I have wanted to see. Andy, awesome. I did not want to see Beauty and the Beast. I did not want to see Cinderella. I do want to see Lion King. I don't, Lion King's really close to me and my sister's heart. We used to watch it every day after school. But I am stupid excited to see Mulan. So, all right. So I have a few. Let's see here. All right. So here's my favorite image from this movie. Oh my goodness gracious. It looks stupendous. Like, you can't tell me that this movie does not look amazing, all right? Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Uh oh, sorry. You need to be able to see that. Oh my goodness. Her soaring over this crowd like this looks phenomenal. Phenomenally ridiculous. Oh my god. Look at that. And I was able to snag a real quick screenshot of that to really get that popping. Um, I love this shot. This is my favorite shot in the whole movie, and it just looks like a classic, just like throwback to old martial art flicks or martial art flicks in general, with some of the fighting, the jumping, the swinging, the soaring through the sky that they have going on here. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm here for it. I'm excited about it, but I do have some beef, or actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. So we'll close that. So Disney is taking this opportunity, and I'm not in a Disney executive office. This is just me hitting it from my perspective, my spin as a creative. And they have this product that has been out before in animated form, and they are switching it up. Now, I've done this before with Hotshot. Hotshot came out as a black and white book with grayscales, color cover book, and I was in college or just around finishing up college when we put this book out, and couldn't do the book in full color like we wanted to. But then after we got the means and we were able to find somebody that could color the book, we re-released the book in a collector's edition. Actually got some super talented people to help us redo that number one issue, inks, colors, letters, and we made it different. We made it different from the original release to make people want it, because there was already people that had the number one issue for Hot Shot as is. So with this new edition of it, we switched it up. I also do that with sketch covers. Vigilance, Hot Shot, Emerald Quest, and Heroes International each have sketch covers. By sketch covers, let me rephrase that, blanks. They have blanks that I can sketch on when I'm at a show. So if somebody is a real fanatic about it, really likes to get custom art with original indie books and things like that, they can get their own original artwork of a character from that book or whatever they want on there for that number one issue. And it can be their number one issue that nobody else has. So in a way, on the mainstream level, obviously Disney's trying to do this. They're trying to switch it up. They're trying to give you an invested reason to go see this and show you that it's not the same thing that is in the animated flick. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sit here and sit on my perch and say I've agreed with every single decision that they've made. Because I haven't. But I feel it makes sense with Mulan. And honestly, I just want to see a female character that's dope, that's strong, that's got, good instincts, that's smart, that can fight, that can handle herself, and doesn't have to depend on anybody. Because how many male heroes have we had that does that do that? And they go through the movie perfectly fine, saving the day against all types of odds. So I want more women doing this in movies, and it looks like Disney's getting ready to deliver on that. Shaggy says Princess Jasmine was freaking hot, but that was not enough to make me want to see a legend. Cool beans, cool beans. All right, so now I do have a little bit of beef with Disney. Victor Dandridge and Danny Cooper and Ray McKenzie already know about these things. It seems like Disney's spying on us. They're in the secret files of Freestyle Comics, Hot Shot, just things that are very reminiscent of what we've done, and they've tilted it, changed it a tad bit. I've heard lifting is the greatest form of compliments. Well, if you're going to lift from me, cut me a check too, damn it. All right, so what I'm talking about here, let's look at the Mulan movie poster, which, not gonna lie, looks phenomenal. All right, that's the poster. Oh God. Looks great, right? Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful poster. Absolutely love it. But instantly when I saw it, I was like, hey, that looks mighty familiar. I mean, super familiar. You want to see how familiar? Let me show you how familiar that poster is. Because we haven't come out with a second issue of Emerald Quest, but I have posted this on social media just to get people to what's up, to let you know it's coming. All right. This is the cover that we did last year that was beautifully done by the Emerald Quest creative team I just said that already. Well, beautifully done. That's a panda. It looks like Emerald Quest. That's our cover to Emerald Quest #2. This cover is one of my favorite covers that we've ever done for one of them. Like, I just think it's fantastic. It is hitting on exactly what we're going to be, what's going on with Marky, our main character, where she's going, where she's coming from. And then Mulan dropped their cover. Pretty, I mean, even the hand positioning is the same. Spot on. Only thing we don't have is hair in her face. Jeez. Like I said, greatest form of compliment is lifting, huh? So I guess I'll just have to take that and appreciate it for what it is, huh? So we'll see here. All right, so we're gonna get here, and I'm done talking about that for now. But we're about to get to a new segment here on Dear Creative, and it's called the Rumor Railroad. The Rumor Railroad is, well, let's get it up here, please. Again, still trying to figure out what really works and what does not work. All right, so it's the Rumor Railroad. All right, The rumor railroad is something that when a rumor starts on social media, everyone or most people jump on board that, they get all aboard, they ride that train, and then it ends up ending in a wreck because that's not actually what they are actually going to do. And there's two rumors that are pretty hot right now that I actually like. If they don't happen, I will not be disappointed, because I realize and understand it's my expectation. Hold on real quick. Do you think Mulan film will be more of a waxia martial arts film, or more like an over the top but believable like Bruce Lee or Jackie Chan martial arts? I think it's going to be more of a over the top martial arts film. All right. All right. So here is, and this one is actually pretty clever. Uh, and I know this isn't going to happen because Marvel can't touch these characters for like a year, 18 months or to 18 months to 2 years. They can't touch these characters per their contract. But if this was true, if this was happening, this would be amazing. So if you've seen Spider-Man Far From Home 2, I'm not going to get really into it a whole lot here. But if you've seen it, and then you know what happens at the end of the movie, there are spoiler scenes that are super crazy. And no, spoiler, not in the end credit scenes. They're super crazy, and this will be perfect introduction for Matt Murdock to come into Spider-Man 3 and help Peter Parker out of the trouble that he is in, because he's in trouble. This would be a great plug, even if it's not like a whole movie just about this. One of these things that could wrap it up or get that squared away in the first arc, but introduce Matt to Daredevil into it. But we're in a movie, so why, if you're going to put him in here, put him in the movie and have them team up. I think that would be fantastic. So I'll be talking later about Spider-Man Far From Home in a more of a spoiler conversation or whatnot, but I don't want to get into it right now. But I think this would be, if you've seen it, I think this would be a great thing to happen. I'd be super excited about it because he's an amazing Daredevil. And I honestly don't want to see anyone else as Daredevil in this role. Now, going on that rumor railroad, what else we have coming up over there is something I think is great as well. And if it's true, awesome. If not going to hurt my feelings. That we may have Taskmaster as the villain for Black Widow. That's a perfect villain for Black Widow. A perfect challenge for that would be incredible. But these are the images that people have posted saying they think it's Taskmaster. So we haven't had an official release. We haven't had Marvel or the great Feige say, yeah, it's going to be Taskmaster. None of that. People have just seen this picture, put it up, and said, oh, it's Taskmaster for sure. Official. Run with it. Run with it. It's looks like Lord Zed in a new costume, and he changed his color to blue. So, frag the Spidey Daredevil ship. So I don't know who that is, but if Taskmaster is in there, that's a great villain to come across to go against Black Widow, because she is super dope, right? At martial arts, fighting, spy, espionage, all this thing. So this would be a perfect match for her to figure out how she's going to overcome, because she's more than just her fighting skills. She's super intelligent. She's very headstrong. She's got a lot of wit to her, and she's clever. So seeing that fight play out, I'd be very excited to see that on film and see what they do with it. So now that we've talked about that, if you don't, damn, Scarlet is such a hottie. Sorry, I can't help myself. Oh man, it's perfectly fine. It is perfectly fine. Oh, is that why it has not posted? I was wondering why that did not post. All right, my post for the Facebook share didn't happen, so I was like, what's going on? I want people to be able to tune in so we get more people in here. All right, so that is the rumor railroad section of this show. And right now, all right, I'm gonna let you guys know right now, it's happening. All right, I'm gonna talk about Spider-Man Far From Home. I'm gonna try my best not to spoil it for you, but I get excited, and I can tell you off rip, I enjoyed this film. Okay, that's just a disclaimer. We're gonna have a little fun with this. All right. So we're going to talk about the movie, and then I'm going to show you my math and my equations for breaking down who is the best on-screen, in motion Spider-Man that we have lately. Because we're in kind of a golden age of Spider-Man, and this is a big deal for me because Spider-Man is a super huge inspiration for me and Hotshot and the comic books that I write and how I go about them, or the comic books that we create at Freestyle Comics. So, all right, so let's uh let's get it on up there. All right, so Spider-Man: Far From Home. This is my review. Actually, you know what? I'm not, because I don't want you guys to leave. I'm not going to do any spoilers. I'm not going to do any spoilers. Let's keep everybody in here. I don't want to ruin for anybody. I will contain my excitement. I'm an adult. I can control myself right now. All right, so Spider-Man: Far From Home. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, I had a good time with this movie. I went in there with, I saw it with the whole team. Okay, the whole team, the full gauntlet, and all our families. Vic and his kids, Vic's mom, um, Danny and his kids, Ren and his kid, like me, my wife, and my kids. We were there. We took up a whole dang aisle. We were all there having a good time and enjoying the show. So, Spider-Man: Far From Home. Right off the gate, I thought it was incredible. I had a lot of fun with it, despite whatever plot hole Vic says is there. I disagree with him. The comedy of the movie was hilarious. I enjoyed it so much. I was constantly laughing through it. The main villain, Jake, did an amazing job. Oh my! I'm addressing him first name like we're friends, like we're on a first name basis or whatnot. But he killed the role of Mysterio. I absolutely believed it, and I love how Marvel didn't try to flip it. And um, it is what it is, and I don't mind that because we all know who Mysterio is. So that might have been a spoiler. I apologize, guys, but Mysterio was fantastic. The fights were stupid, like right out of a comic book, right out of a freaking comic book. These fights were okay. So visually, however you thought it was for Mysterio to fight Spider-Man, ripped right from those pages. Peter Parker. Tom did a great job portraying Peter Parker, and a lot of it. There was a live stream video I watched where they really spoke on how much he just wanted to be a kid and he wanted to chill, and I think it made sense. The dude went to space and he died, or he got snapped out of existence for 5 years, and then he fought the biggest battle the world has ever seen for the sake of the universe. So literally, he wasn't even saying like he doesn't want to be Spider-Man. He just wants a summer off. He wants to be a summer just to be a kid, to talk to the girl that he really likes and have fun with his friends and not worry about having to save the world for the summer, because he just did that. And he understands with great power comes great responsibility. He's doing all that stuff. He's keeping the city cleaned up and things, but he just really wants a summer off. And I understood that. But you got the title, kid. And it will not go away from you. Some of the best Spider-Man movements, as far as trying to say this without really giving away, the end scene with working with his focus and determination to hit the goal. God, my favorite scene. All right, my favorite flipping scene. I love how they did it. I love what it is at its core. Um, I'm really trying to think of anything bad in the film. I guess Tony. There's a really cool scene in there dealing with the death of Tony Stark. It's crazy good, but Tony doesn't learn from anything, and there's an amazing acronym in there that is just all Tony Stark. It's amazing, but special effects amazing. There's a cool Amish scene that makes sense. I just wish somehow some verbiage could have been put with it, but we knew what it was. But I think Spider-Man would have said something um, to it, because obviously that's where he got it from. But I mean, you see the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. But I recommend Spider-Man: Far From Home. Had a great time. It's an awesome movie, great comedy. MJ and Spider-Man, I love their chemistry together. I love the awkwardness of it. The 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 end credit scenes may be the best end credit scenes that we've ever gotten since the initial Nick Fury at the end of Iron Man, which is great because we're going to a whole nother chapter, a whole nother phase. So it's spot on. It's spot on time with it. I'm very excited with Spider-Man for Spider-Man 3. I hope they are going to do it. I hope they sign him to more movies, keep this universe rolling. And I have no idea how Peter's going to get out of the mess that he's in right now. And a great probably my favorite Easter egg in the world that I've ever gotten out of a movie's in there, and it made me so happy to see that last scene. So, all right. I'm gonna stop now. I'm gonna stop talking about that because I can go on, and that's we need to move on. All right. So, who is the best Spider-Man? All right. Now, everybody has their opinions, and I understand that. Everyone's going to have their opinions, and everybody's opinion is their opinion. This is mine, but I try to factor in some rules into how we pick them because I don't even think. I think mine changes on a daily basis. So this is kind of a way to keep myself in check in a way. And let's see here. Why is that still not Facebook? I'm sorry. It is really not on there. And I'm just trying to get this to share on Facebook. I don't know why it won't share on Facebook. It's not showing up on my phone. And it's kind of getting on my nerves because my phone has the quickest and best sharing option. There it is. Uh, that's not it. All right, well, never mind that. So, best Spider-Man. Basically, I've got categories to score each Spider-Man in, and you can't score higher than a 4 for those categories. All right, so we got Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Tom. We got Miles, and we have, yes, I included the video game PlayStation 4 Peter Parker because that's a damn good game. It's a damn good story. It's a damn good Peter Parker. All right, he goes up there right with these guys. As Chris Thomas has said, we're in kind of a golden era of Spider-Man storytelling right now. So my categories are uh, quips, making jokes, making fun of people, being funny. Geek. How much of a geek is Peter Parker? We're not just talking glasses. We're talking about, is he a nerd? How nerdy is he? How geeky is he? How uncomfortable and awkward is he? Backstory. Backstory. What happened? Who's the narrator? Who's the drive? Uncle Ben for Miles is his uncle. For in another story, it is Peter Parker for Miles Morales. Basically, what is the drive? What is the with great power comes great responsibility. Guardian, and Guardian being the person that's in charge of them now, who is the parent or who is the parent figure in there, leading lady, love interest, web slinging, that's kind of self-explanatory, action, fights, action scenes and whatnot, hero moment, which is a pretty big important one, the moment that defines Spider-Man as a hero, not a Spider-Man, as a hero. And of course, lastly, villains. Now, everyone's list is not going to be my list. I may have missed something that's not on yours, and that's fine. That's okay. This is what I went off of. All right, so Toby, right now, Toby Maguire gets a 1 for quips, 4 for geekery, 3 for backstory, 3 for Guardian, 0 for leading lady. I can't stand what's her name? That's right. I don't even remember her name. I did not like her at all. Web slinging, he gets a 2. Action, 3. Hero moment, he gets a 4. Villains, he gets a 3. Now, Toby would have got a 4 for villains, but Spider-Man 3 hurt him on that villain scape. Doc Ock, Green Goblin are fantastic villains. All right, fantastic villains. But I had to ding him for that. Hero moment, I don't think there's a better hero moment than Spider-Man saving everyone on that train and stopping the webs. Big, big, big moment. Geekery, he is the biggest geek out of all of these characters. All right. I'll be doing the totals here right in a second. Andrew Garfield, we gave him a 3 for quips. Let me see here. 3 for quips, a 0 for geekery. Andrew Garfield was the coolest damn Peter Parker we've ever had. All right, that boy was just too damn cool. Backstory 1, Guardian 1, leading lady 3. I loved him and Emma Stone together. But in going back and watching the movie, there is some awkwardness to their delivery. Shaggy said, "Where's the '90s cartoon, the '70s TV movies, and the '67 cartoon? Is amazing and friends." I'm gonna do one just for that later on. I thought about including the '90s Spider-Man because he is pretty definitive, but I'm just going with what is the recent pull since the movie sagas have started. Uh, Andrew gets a 3 for web slinging. Andrew Garfield's web slinging is incredible, incredibly good. I couldn't give him a 4 though, uh, but because he had a couple like really good web sling scenes, not through like, and they came like at the beginning or the end of the movie. Like I really remember when he was going towards Killer, looking for Doc. Dang it, Doc Connors. That scene was really good. It was forced a little bit, but still was good. His web slinging scene at the end and the web slinging scene at the beginning of Amazing Spider-Man 2, phenomenal. Still one of my favorites. And the video game web slinging is really based off of Amazing Spider-Man. Okay, action 3 for Garfield. Hero moment 1, and his villains a 1. Okay, Miles Morales. He got a 2 for quips. He came on strong at the end of his movie with the quips. 2 for geekery. Miles is still pretty cool. He's a little socially awkward only because he's at a completely new school. Backstory 4. Even they even say in the movie, this backstory is kind of hardcore. This origin story is hardcore. Guardian 4. I love his parents. I love his parents. And I love his uncle. My God, they are so cool. So like so grounded and everything about that. I just love it. Leading lady 3. Spider Gwen. She was dope. Get out of here. Web slinging 4. Miles Morales, once he started web slinging, that boy got super comfortable with it. All right. That whole scene, flipping, jumping off the wall, yelling Brooklyn. He got a 3 just for yelling Brooklyn. All right. And then shooting the webs. And as far away as we were, we saw the webs go all the way up. And then that music kicked in, boom, boom, boom. And he just web slings completely different from anybody else, really doing a lot more parkouring than anybody else. And it just looks so dope. Oh, goodness. You know what I should have put on here and I forgot to put on here? See? Costume. Action. Gave Miles a 4. Hero moment 2. And his villains a 2. All right. So, as you can see, I got multiple freaking dang screens up here. All right. So now we come to Tom here. All right. I gave him a 4 for quips. Civil War, his quips was on point. He's funny. He gives you quips. He gives you quips throughout the whole movie. The only time he really does not say anything, which he's not really quippy, is when he's Peter Parker, and he's only quippy when he's Spider-Man. And he knows and he knows when to not do it, when the moment is like super super serious and he's trying to like save some lives and like, all right, this isn't the time for joke. So I really dig that. Geekery 2, because he's not full on geek, but he is a geek. He is outcast, so he is in that little circle, but not the full nerd glasses type of thing. He still has friends, he still has people he socializes with. Tom, backstory, because we really, really don't know his backstory. We are left and assumed to figure out his backstory, which is kind of not his fault because Marvel did not want to go through that and rehash all of that again. Guardian 4. I love Young Hadame. Sorry, shoot me. Leading lady, MJ. I did not like this girl on Disney Channel. My kids watch it all the time, but I love her in the Spider-Man franchise. I love her now that she's older and some of the stuff that she's doing. Web slinging, I gave him a 2. Action 4. The action, incredible. Because in the web slinging, he's still learning. He's still learning. He's not there yet. Hero moment 3. He steps up. All right. He steps up big. He gets beat up and he gets beat up and he keeps getting up. Villains 3. 2.9% of that came from Vulture. Crazy. I'm lying. Vulture and Mysterio have been great villains for him so far. Really, really enjoyed them, and their backstories are really adding the element of it that gets you behind these villains and make you care about them. All right, PS4. Peter. Oh wait, Master Panda says, and why was Emma Stone cast as Gwen instead of MJ? Emma would have been way better as MJ. This is fact, and everybody knows it. God, Hollywood gets on my nerves sometimes. He says, I kind of agree with you there, Mike. I think he said I mess with Toby Heavy in Spider-Man 2, but Kirsten Dunst is an absolute horrible Mary Jane. Exactly. All right. So here we are. Excuse me. Let me get that closed. Yeah, I know how to pull that up. All right. So finally, we have Peter Parker, Spider-Man now. Quips 3. he is constantly quipping. He's constantly making jokes. Um, it- it's so great. You spend so much time with him as Spider-Man and things like that. Quips on point. Geekery, it's there. He's a grown geek. He's us. He's one of us, and I can relate to him a lot. Backstory: a two. Guardian, one. Leading Lady, one. The Mary Jane in this game really got on my nerves. Web slinging, four. Jesus, the web slinging is amazing, and it's kind of not fair because you get to web sling. You are the web slinger in the game. Action, four. Crazy set pieces, crazy action, great fighting, all of it on point. Hero moment, two. Um, and villains of four. The way they integrated all the villains into this and the reveal, even though I did see it coming, it was still a great reveal. It was still powerful. It was a very powerful moment. Um, so after going through all that, now you've got to see who is the winner. So this isn't just about my fave or anything like that. I actually have a score system. All right. So coming in last place, Andrew Garfield with 16 points. Coming up next, Tobey Maguire with 23 points. Coming in next, Peter Parker PlayStation Edition, 24 points. Coming in with 25 points, the MCU Spider-Man Tom. And with 27 points, as you can see, it was a pretty close race. 27 points, the man, the myth, Miles Morales, coming in as rated as the best Spider-Man. So your winner, let's give him a little screen shout out right there. It's not working. Sorry. Again, still going to use this. I'm really going to have to get a person behind the desk. Miles Morales is your Spider-Man with 27 points. So it's not just based off of my likes or my wants, but really trying to look at why, what makes a good Spider-Man character. And so it is Miles. And like I said, this isn't even definitive, dude, because mine changes every other day, whatever content I'm reading or whatnot. All right. Okay, what's this? Come on, you got to give Miles a 3 for villains. I mean, Prowler alone deserves a 3, but that dude, uh, and that they have a Bill Kinski Kingpin. I mean, style, dude, style. Okay, Miles. All right. Prowler was dope. Yeah. Kingpin was the style of Kingpin was cool, but he was a little too big for me. And at times I didn't know if Kingpin had powers or if Kingpin was just a really strong dude. What about Neil Patrick Harris play Spidey in early 2003 animated series? Haha. I am never going to bring that up again. Shaggy. I love Shaggy because he always brings an element of it that I don't think about, and that's what's really cool about this. So now we've got our mainstream lingo in, our mainstream conversation in there, and now it's time to switch gears, everybody. Time to switch those gears, and it's time for the bullpen. All right, it's time for the business bullpen. This image that I have right now, it's one of my favorite images. It's one of my favorite images from FSK Day last year, which is coming up again this year. And this is when we had some amazing, talented artists. The foundation of what made FSK, what makes FSK what it is today. The Freestyle Comics team, interns, everything, supporters, Short Fuse Media, cosplayers, all here. And that's what it's about right there, the business bullpen. So now we're going to get into our indie topics right now, and that's what we're going to discuss. Real shout out to Creative Control Fest for providing my hat, The Creatives, and Geek Kane Wear from Vantage and House Productions. Decided to rock the hoodie today for the show. See, now we're going to be diving into some things. So I've had some interesting conversations, and let's check the comments here. Mass, way to go, Miles. All right, so I've had some very interesting conversations, or there's been a lot of stuff going on social media that have really been popping. So first off, let's go into what's cracking with FSK and Short Fuse Media. We have a couple of the digital books up for sale. that are new, like The Edge, American Dreams #2 will be coming up there, Heroes International 3, and the source book from Freestyle Comics will be going up there in digital and in print very, very, very soon. Stay tuned. I'll be making an announcement when those are actually up. You can get The Edge right now, digital copy, on our store at shortfusemediagroup.com. We've gone through a lot of transition with Short Fuse Media, really looking at what best benefits Short Fuse and as a whole to everyone underneath the banner of Short Fuse and how we're going to move forward into our 2020. For both the staples that I'm involved with, Short Fuse and FSK, it has really been a matter of kind of the plot and plan, what's going to be more effective for us. And the big thing that we've been doing on Short Fuse is going to comic book conventions. So we even had to reevaluate our convention support. Sean has done a great job of redesigning that and making that more viable for people to be able to get their books out on time and things like that, and handle shipping in a timely manner so people can have the books that they want at the shows that they need. The thing with convention support is also looking at these sales. How are creatives selling their books? How many are they selling at the shows, and looking at their averages and things like that, so we don't overstock or we understock with how many books we want, because it's always great to say sold out, but you always want to make sure you have enough copies of the books there. So actually, we use Square to keep track of all our sales and numbers and things like that. Square is an awesome tool. I recommend it to anybody. So coming up with those averages, we just plug it in there and we look at all the shows the person's been to. So let's say someone says, oh, I want to get 100 comics for this. I want to get 100 comics for this show. All right. Well, I've been to a lot of shows, and then I kind of look at the show, look at what is the known attendance and audience there. It's also important to know what kind of show is it is. Is it a mainstream show? Is it a hardcore dedicated art show? Or is it a hardcore dedicated comic show? Or is it a blend? Is it all of it? And trying to figure those things out too. And then how many sales a person has done. Now, if someone's averaging 45 comics a weekend sold, not giving them 100 comic books, because on our end, that's money coming out of the Short Fuse budget to get all those books made and then shipped out. So out of, asking for 100 books, but you're averaging 45 in sales, we'll probably send 60 books for that weekend. Now, if you sell out of those books, then you sell out of those books. That's a good thing or whatnot. But we want to make sure we're not, we got to keep all the money in a row. We got to make sure we're not overspending and we're not making it rain, because that's when you start to lose track of things. And then when you actually need the funds to do something bigger, you don't have it because we were frivolous with it in the beginning. So we have to watch and monitor that stuff as well. So it's a lot. It's not just like, hey, let's go make some comic books. Let's go print those up and go out there with 300 copies or whatnot. Kat's one of the best sellers out there, and at a Wizard World show, she sold about 170 books in a 4-day Wizard World weekend at Philadelphia. She did 4 days. 4 days, 170 books. So, and that's good. Kat's like our top seller. So we look at that, and she's kind of a go-to on it. I think Ramel and I go back and forth in sales on books. But then again, it's also being comfortable and being able to talk to people about your product. That's super important. So I've been doing videos. I've been recording my panels that I do at Wizard World and other shows and things like that. I've done special episodes of Dear Creative, just talking about conventions and how to work conventions, gauging what kind of conventions there are, and what convention are you going to, what type, how should you market your convention, how should you present yourself, how should you pitch your books, how should you have a conversation with people, what you should be doing at your table, just things like that. And just because that's been the big thing and big focus, hitting comic book conventions for Short Fuse, and it's just going to expand and grow even more next year. I know we're all getting together to go to Baltimore Comic-Con. Now that is a hardcore art comic book convention. All right, you go there, you're expecting to move some trades, you're expecting to move some floppies, and expecting to move some prints. They are there. The fans are there for art. They're there for comic book creators, artists. They're there for books. Given, which is one of the reasons why I love going to that show. So, all right, FSK. Danny and I have had some strong conversations this week, well, overall all year, but really trying to evaluate how we are going to do things and restructure Freestyle Comics to be more stable financially and getting books out more consistently. We have one book that dropped this year, which is Heroes International #3, and the plan is also to drop, and our source book. The plan is also to drop Zero Vit #1 before the end of the year, and but we are sitting back this year. We want to focus on collecting our trades and building those up for this year, getting those financially taken care of and out there, building up funds with those books for the rest of the year, and then launching more books in 2020 and kind of getting ahead financially on our books. So whatever we're working on now this year is completely paid off and done with. And so, well, we want to get like 5 to 6 books done and paid for this year before we even release them next year. And we had to talk about ways of how we're going to do that. And one of the things that we're going to do is that we're going to stop running a couple of our books. And how do you gauge that? And that's not something that I want to do. Not something that I want to do at all. And he says, but wouldn't buy in bulk and sending to people to save on shipping costs and lowering print costs. But wouldn't buy it in bulk. Oh yeah, Andy, it just depends on. Oh yeah, bring on the zero. It just depends on that. Depends on that because Sean really handles the operation ends of it, and we want to keep track of the books so we know how many books we have out there that aren't just floating or whatnot. So we always have some on stock because so the books that we get printed we sell on our online store and we ship out as well. So once the books that aren't sold we need to that have not been sold we need to have those shipped back to us to make viable for the online store and keeping track of them at the same time. We don't want to keep running to the print shop to print an order of 10 or 15 books. We want to go there once and like have that last as long as we possibly can. So yeah, the zero event's coming. They're going to extra stories in the trade. If so, you're killing me because I need it. Yes, we have new stuff worked out for the trade. We have new stuff that's going to be in the trade, so it makes the trade worth buying. And besides just buying, selling to the people that have not gotten the trade, I know there are people that want to support and would just get it just to support, namely like you. We will be putting new content in the trade. So where was I? Oh, and that's why I keep a list. So Danny and I had to have a conversation about which titles we were going to cut, and it's just a matter of well, what we got to go off of book sales, and which books are really getting talked about, which books are allowing people to, or people are coming back to buy. So there's 2 titles we're going to be letting go. Well, not letting go, putting on hiatus. We're going to let them finish out their stories. And then we're going to pause those books. Now, all those characters are still going to exist in the world of Freestyle Comics. They'll make appearances in the other titles that are still going on. But we want to put our focus on more of the top selling books or whatnot, and it limits our focus so we can put more funds in that direction and get more books to come out. So that was a tough conversation, man, because I always want to be at FSK. I always want to put out like multiple books and but we're still putting out multiple books. It's give and take. You got to understand. You got to have some give and some go, and you got to make some decisions on which one, which one that you have. What am I trying to say here? Jesus Christ! You got to know when to let go and say, all right, I got to put this away so I can focus more on this because this is getting more attention. So there's that, and then thinking about how we want to restructure our Kickstarter for the books that we have coming out this year through Kickstarter, and trying to build up a cushion that's going to have a skyrocket in 2020. So it's a matter of, we can come out with 3 or 4 more books this year, but struggling to get the funds for those books and coming nose across the line to get that done, or we can sit back, do 2 small releases and stack up everything else, and then in 2020 just power through the ceiling top. So it's the long game. It's the long game. Comic book making is not a sprint. It's an endurance. What's the title that sells 120 books? Well, we don't have one single title that sells 120 books unless you're talking about our Kickstarters. Cat has Like Father, Like Daughter. and she has, they call her the Dancer. So number one copies of those. Plus she has issues 2, 3, and 4 of like Father Like Daughter. She sold a number of number one issues. I'd actually have to look it up to tell you how many, but a vast majority of that is number one issues of like Father Like Daughter, and they call her the Dancer. And Daniel was there, and he had American Dreams number one there as well. All right. So, okay, all right. So here's the one of the big things that I wanted to talk about, and I did some deep diving, man. I did some investigating reporting here, because I kind of already know this stuff. I'm just asking which one you were referring to. I'm sorry, Imani. I don't follow. Are you asking which one of the books that we sell that sells 120? Because if so, we don't have one book at a show that sells 120 copies because we have multiple books. So I guess I just really don't know what you're referencing to, and I would love to, so I could answer your question. Um, so there's this whole thing going on with Ariel being picked as a black woman or whatnot, and one of the things that always comes out that when things like this happen is, why don't you just make new characters? I love that phrase, and I hate it at the same time. All right, it is really an annoying thing to say. So I did some deep digging. Oh, okay. All right. Cool. Sorry, Amani. Sorry for me getting mixed up. All right. So I did some deep digging. All right. So the thing is, why don't you just make a new Black Mermaid? Okay. Yeah. Sure. They could do that. But there's tons of money that goes into pushing out a brand new IP, brand new character. Lots of money that goes into promotion, putting it on a team, the art and everything, building it up, advertising, all that, pushing it, putting it everywhere, plus creating it to get people behind something that's completely new. Disney is a business. At the end of the day, it's a business. Whether you think it's a cash grab or not, everything they do is a cash grab because they are trying to make money. Now, they started this whole pattern of we're going to remake all our animated movies into live actions. Um, so you kind of have to separate your childhood from this a little bit and not look at it as, oh, they're murdering my cartoons. Because they're making these live actions for a new generation of children for the most part that aren't really big cartoon heads. They're anime heads or whatever, but the live actions may appeal to them more. Now, they have people that are out here testing and doing surveys and getting this information, but it's retelling a story in a whole new format for them. It's still cinema, but now it's live action, or it's all CGI that's made look ultra realistic. So, but that's neither here nor there. The statement was, why don't they just make new characters? All right, so you want people to make new characters, then you have to support new characters. I'm talking specifically from the comic end right now. Marvel makes new characters. Hold up. Shaggy says new characters are frequently rejected because people say, I don't know anything about this and I only want what I know. That's a good point, Andy. That's a very good point. All right. So there was a character created by Marvel Comics in 2016 called Mosaic. Mosaic was a black character. He was in the NBA. He was an inhuman and got powers that unlocked once that smoke and mist got to him. Not only was he a black character, he was written by a black person. He was drawn by a black person. And two very popular people in that. Where's my notes? Created by Geoffrey Thorne and Carrie Randolph. They created Mosaic. They were the lead heads on Mosaic. They also had, oh my goodness, I forgot his. Oh, how could I forget his name? They also had a very dope cover artist. He's a graduate of CCAD. Jeez, this is terrible. It is right there on the tip of my tongue. Well, either way, he was a graduate of CCAD. He's worked for Marvel Comics. He's done art for Man of Steel. He's done designs for the G.I. Joe movies. He's the new RoboCop. He designed it and that motorcycle, doing tons of stuff. This dude is a fantastic artist. He did Iron Man and was doing crazy perspective on that. Oh my God, it was ridiculous. All right. And so he was doing guest covers on it. He's also black. So our community is always saying, Why don't you just make a new character of color and put some people of color behind the production team? Marvel does that. Marvel gives you that. They give you 3 men. Uh, and I apologize. There was no females on this team. I'm just using this as an example, so don't stab me there for that. All right, but they are men of color working on this book, featuring a character of color on this book. This character Mosaic was pushed in a huge storyline for Marvel Comics and tied in all their books. Also, this character was with Captain America, Spider-Man, um, the X-Men, the new X-Men that came from the past. I mean, they put this character with every single character you possibly could put this character with to make him seen and make him viable and put him in people's faces. All right. The #1 issue for Mosaic dropped 2016 October. The #1 issue was in position 61 on the comic book sales, the 61th highest selling book at 44,354 copies sold. For that same month, the top selling book, #1, Big Trouble in Little China, 421,000 copies. Champions, #1, Take Note, which is a legacy team book. Ain't nothing but some kids portraying other characters, and these kids are a diverse roster of characters. Champions, #1, 328,000 copies of that book. Doc Strange, #3, 149,000. Dark Knight #3, #4, 133,000. Batman, #5, 129,000 books sold. Those are how many books sold the same month Mosaic came out. That's your #1 through 5. Mosaic is 61 and only sold 44,000 copies. Now, I'm a comic book kid. They pushed the hell out of Mosaic. Advertisements and everything. Mosaic was everywhere. Not only was he everywhere in promotions, he was everywhere in books. When this character was out, they partnered up with all the big four-star characters so you could see him. He only sold 44,000 copies. Now, that same month, Moon Girl, brand new character, right? Brand new character. She's on her 12th issue. Only sold 9,505 copies of her book that year. Miss Marvel, character of color. Now, she's a legacy character. She sold 28,348 copies. Now, when I say legacy character, I say a character that is taking over the mantle of another character. Thank you, Karan Grant. Thank you. My God, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I apologize. That was super disrespectful that I forgot your name. It was right there on the tip of my tongue. Thank you so much. Karan Grant was the cover artist for Mosaic. And Karan Grant is a monster in this art game. He's done tons of comic book work. All right. All right, hold on. I'm gonna get to these comments in 1 second. Miss Marvel, 28,000 copies sold. Black Panther, y'all. 2016. We all knew that Black Panther movie was coming out because they did plenty of promotions for it, all that jazz. We knew Black Panther the movie was coming out. 60,000 copies. This is the same month with books that are doing 400,000 copies. Sam Wilson as your Captain America, 27,000. Jessica Jones, #1. 74,000. Wonder Woman, 66,000. Luke Cage, who has a hit series with Netflix, was super popular, great, lovable actor for him, 44,000. Batgirl, 40,000. The Mighty Thor, Jane Foster, 40,000. Cyborg from DC, 37,000 copies of these books. Now, I want to tell you that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I dug through here and found 11 characters of color and female lead characters that have their own titles. In total, for that month in October in 2016, they only sold 474,000 copies of those books combined. The top 5 books, Big Trouble in Little China, Champions, Doc Strange, Dark Knight 3, Batman. So 1 million, over 1 million copies of those books that month with all those books combined. So when we say we want new characters, you got to buy the new characters. I only got Mosaic, Moon Girl. Those are new characters. Cyborg isn't either. But those are 2 new characters. One's a girl, one's a guy. They're both black. But we're not buying the book. And there was plenty of promotions for those books. So if you're a comic book head, you saw, especially if you're a Marvel comic book head. So my thing is that when Marvel sees this, again, they're a company. They are a business. Cash grab or not, their business is making money, not taking a loss. They don't want to take a loss at all. Even a small one, they don't want it. All right. So if we are over here spending our money, the general audience, for them on Big Trouble in Little China, Champions, Dark Strange, Dark Knight 3, Batman, then that's what they're going to put their money in. If they put the kind of people you want on the books, give you the characters that you're asking for, which are new characters of color, and y'all don't buy the books, they're not going to make those books anymore. It's just that simple. Okay? Big Trouble in Little China, that's based off of a movie that came out 20 years ago. Champions. Champions is the number 2 selling book. That's a legacy team. That's Nova as a kid. That's Nova's son. That's Miles Morales, the new Spider-Man. That's Miss Marvel, that's the new Marvel. That's Vision's daughter, the new Vision. That's Amadeus Cho as the new Hulk. Yeah, I think they have a couple more characters. But that's mainly the names we all knew and grew up with for 80 years in the comic industry being portrayed by new people. So they sell 328,000 copies of that versus Mosaic, who only sells 44,000, or Moon Girl, who only sells 9,000. They're going to keep putting money in the legacy characters because that's what people are telling them that they want with their dollars. Now, you say, Mike, well, those stories suck. That's why people didn't buy them. Mosaic was a trash story. And I agree with you. I didn't like the story. I had to push myself past the third issue to give it a chance. I didn't like where it was going. I didn't like where it started off. It had some good aspects, and Carrie Randolph's artwork couldn't hold it down for me. His artwork was gorgeous. I loved it, but it wasn't enough. Moon Girl. You could say Moon Girl was trash. You could say Miss Marvel's trash. You could say these books are trash. That's why the sales aren't up there. But guess what? If you're not going to spend your money, hi Miles. Okay. If you're not going to spend your money on these books because they're garbage, that's fine. Then spend your money elsewhere, because there's people who are making indie books, who have been doing it, who's not doing it for a cash grab, who make characters of diverse heritage and color and females and males and different genders or whatever, and they're out here. They're in your artist alley. They're at comic shops. You got to ask for them. You got to look for them. If you spend your money on that stuff, trust me, if enough of money goes towards those people and making those books get up on list or making those books get noticed, Marvel and DC will take notice of that. They will wonder, well, where's the 44,000 books that we normally get from Mosaic? Where's the 28,000 books we normally get from Ms. Marvel? Where's the 60,000 books we normally get from Black Panther? Where's that money going? They will have somebody investigate and find it out. And I'd be happy to have somebody email me like, hey, you're selling 70,000 copies of Hot Shot? What's that book about? You want to carry it on Marvel? That's great. I would love to get that email. But I'm not getting that email. Nobody else is getting that email, or the vast majority of indies out here ain't getting that email. Because from the numbers, you're going back to what they always do. And if they see that you buy what they always do, that's safe, and that's where the money's coming from, so they're going to keep doing it. All right? That's what that basically breaks down to. And that's all that. Let's see, I got some comments here. All right. Massive Panda says, oh, wait. CL Bedell gets it, man. That's what I'm talking about. And Andy, I already said your comment, but agreed. New characters are frankly rejected because people say, I don't know anything about this, and I want to buy what I want to know. CL Bedell, one of my favorite comments today. New character equals more marketing equals more expense. I have to put on a completely new marketing plan for a brand new character than I do for Captain America, because Captain America's already known. He's been out for damn near 100 years or 75 years or 80 years. There's not a whole lot of market research or anything I have to do for that, especially when I got a movie where Chris Evans is beautifully portraying Captain America. That's half my marketing right there, and that's millions and millions of dollars. Massive Panda, I'm not sure why fans are so close-minded to the idea of seeing brand new characters. I bought books like Hot Shot and Samaritan from guys like you and Vic because the characters are dope. I don't know why people are so allergic to new ideas either. It's not everybody, though, because I do have a pretty good fan base, and I love my fan base. I just want to increase it. Massive Panda again says, not sure why people are so afraid of experiencing something new. Andy pops back in here. Same thing for Breach for DC Comics. He was a black Captain Atom and it tanked, even with shoving Supes and other big heroes in there. So what is it? What is it that we're asking for? You can't ask the industry, the big houses, to say, give us new characters, give us new characters. And then when they do give you new characters, they're not just pushing it out. They're putting these new characters with the characters you see every day. So they're putting them on the same pedestal, saying, hey, these guys are on par. These gals is on par. They're on the same level. Let's get it. Let's see. Here you go. Introduction. Now they're off on your own and you won't get them because you still want to get Superman. You still want to get Batman. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't complain about new characters in the industry if you're not going to get those new characters. And if you don't like what they're doing with the new characters, go somewhere else and find new characters. Support the new characters. Trust me, they will notice. They keep track of the money. I found all the sales going back to 1937 of comic books. Okay? If I can find it, they got it on lock. They got somebody in the office right now in a basement with coffee, donuts, and a refrigerator keeping track of this stuff. All right, and sending emails up to the 100,000 floor saying, "Hey, this is what's going on. We're losing sales here, but we're gaining sales there." Amani, do you think access is a big part of it? They're giving us new material, but selling it the same way. To a degree, yeah, because I even made a comment about that. Like I said specifically, if you're a comic book head and you're buying Marvel and you're buying DC, you're getting these books. You're seeing where these characters are and you're seeing the promotion for it. Maybe access isn't such a big thing because geekdom is everywhere now, especially for us comic kids. We can find it online. We can find it and we can search it out. We can seek it. I think the big thing is because the biggest promotional push you can get for advertising is word of mouth. When a fellow fan and a fellow geek says, "Hey, check this out, this is dope," or they say, "Hey, check this out, I hate it," that's the best type of advertisement you can get because it spreads. And the more people that talk about it, the more people it gets to. So us as creators, that's the conversation we need to have. That's the conversation we need to be involved with because I try, whenever I see somebody bashing Marvel or DC, I'll make one quick comment or, look at what's being said and say something that's insightful. Well, not insightful, that I don't want to sound like arrogant or anything, but say something in regards to what's being said. But then I close it with, "Oh, well, check out my books," because that what you're complaining about doesn't happen in Vigilance. Vigilance is probably a book that you'll like. So I immediately plug it. I immediately throw it back out there. But people are lazy too. So people are lazy, and that's not everybody. I'm just saying, if you can have somebody bring you a cup of water, you will. All right. People don't want to look for brand new characters. They want brand new characters to come find them. So access may be a problem. Mind again, the Black Panther trade was a top 10 book in terms of book sales around the time the movie came out. Right. Trades hit a whole different market. There are people specifically that do nothing but read trades. They won't pick up a floppy. When I say floppy is a single issue, single 22, 24 page comic book. Trades normally have 4 to 6 books in a trade. So when Black Panther came out, the average fan probably went to go look for the trade, which boosted those sales. So that makes sense. But as far as comic book fans who are out here claiming, bring out these characters, we want new characters, or give the characters of color that are out here now books, those are your sales. One more book I had on here that came out in December 2016 through Image was Motor Crush. All like super diverse cast, female lead, tons of women of color in there. And it came out in 110th place on sales and only sold 21,801 copies. All right. And Image is the diverse wheelhouse when it comes to comic books, what kind of books they're putting out for mainstream. Because Wizard is by definition an indie, but they're mainstream now. All right. And I don't hate on that. I want Image's success. I want to be on that level. So I'm definitely not hating on it. But I'm just saying, you have the number 3 comic book publisher in the world giving you a book with a lead female. She's a badass. She's riding motorcycles, going on type of these crazy ass. The movie in the sand with the motorcycles and cars. Mad Max type adventures. And the number one issue only sells 21,000 copies. Like, you're not telling them that this is what you want. You're just saying, oh, okay, So, all right, next one, Shaggy. Hi, other Miles. Breakout characters are rare. Deadpool is about the most recent huge success. Breakout characters are rare. Deadpool as an original character and the way that he affects everything. Yeah, I would agree with you on that. Closest thing I think that we have as a breakout character success is a legacy character, and it's Miles Morales. If there's another one, please throw him out there because I could be wrong. I don't know everything. Again, this is all from my perspective and my opinion. But again, I've done some digging here with this investigative reporting here that I have going on because I just wanted to know. I wanted to see these numbers. Mosaic went down from 44,000, second issue 31,000, third issue 31,000, fourth issue 11,000, fifth issue 7,000, sixth issue 6,000, seventh issue 5,000. Okay, like those sales just tanked. So if that book just sucks, all right, I give you that. But Big Trouble in Little China #1, 421,000 copies. Are you kidding me? Y'all complain about characters switching color. Champions was a #2 selling book at 328,000. Come on. That is a legacy team, and we are on social. Well, I'm not. I don't care either way. But the majority of complaints is that stop switching the character's color, stop changing the character's skin color, come out with a new character. But then y'all go out and buy 328,000. Not y'all specifically. I'm just saying the general audience. These 328,000 copies of this book that sold is what I'm speaking on. Shaggy. On the Axis thing, most comic shops don't order new titles because they can't financially take a chance because it costs. So the only way to buy new titles is somebody requests. That's a very good point. Comic book shops are only going to buy books that sell. They're only going because they have those books sit there. Comic shops are the ones that buy these books. Those books are bought when the comic book shops have them. Those books that are sitting on ships, they're all paid for because the comic shop paid it. You're buying it from the shop so they can get their money back. See, people are lazy or just hesitant to spend money on something unfamiliar. They buy the big names. They know exactly what they're getting into. Like I said, it's a general statement. I didn't mean any offense by it, but yeah, from the experience of sales that I've had, or watching, I do a lot of people watching, and I've been selling books for a while, even working online. If when I post stuff, I make sure to put the exact link in there where it's going to take you. If it takes you to the website and then you have to look for it and then you have to find it and you have to click here, but then it's still, if you have to do more than one, some people just ain't going to do all that. That's real. That's realistic. I've had people tell me that verbatim. Like, if you put a link, have the link take me exactly where I need to go. Don't have me go to a link of a main page and then I got to find everything else after that. But you are right, CL. There is a other side of that, and it doesn't count. It doesn't constitute every single person out there. People are hesitant to spend money on something that's unfamiliar, which is why I always recommend that if you're a comic book fan and you're looking for new character stuff, go into Artist Alley. Go into the Artist Alley and go find those creators. Pick up those books. Man, I promise you, there is not one creator that's going to say, "Oh, don't pick up my book. Oh, don't flip through that." That's their promotion. That's their advertisement. If I don't know what it is, dude, I got to pick it up and flip through it and check it out. And the other thing is, you got to pitch it to me. You got to talk to me about what this is. So, I hear you. This is a super smart convo, but thanks, man. No problem, Maya. Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. You said you were going to be watching tonight because you wanted your question answered. I knew you were going to be watching, so I had to make sure I had some of my numbers right, man. I don't want to come up here with no BS. All right. So that all in all is kind of just like what I'm talking about. That whole Ariel being picked by a black girl, that's a whole different thing. But like, I hate when that comment's made, just make a new character. It ain't that simple. It ain't that simple just making a new character, is what I'm saying. And they go off of numbers. Numbers are real, numbers are facts. And if we don't start speaking with the money, then nothing's going to change. Marvel did a whole, whatever you call it, if you want to call it a blanket run of diversity, and the sales tanked. And then everybody blamed it on them switching up everything and making it diverse. But people wanted diverse. People wanted diversity. People have been asking for diversity. So if you were a business, a multi-billion-dollar company making money, and you had all these characters, but you wanted to give people diversity, wouldn't you want to start safe first? Wouldn't you want to just dip your toe in that water before you went all in? Because when they go all in, it fails. They're a business at the end of the day. Honestly, I don't care why Marvel gives us diversity. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. They're giving us diversity. Now, if I'm not happy with the diversity, with the diversity they're giving me, I won't buy it. I'll go spend the money where I like it. But they're giving it to us, and they're giving it to us in film. They're giving it to us in cartoon, and now they're giving it to us in comic books. So this is stuff. And some people may say, "Oh, well, you just taking their scraps." I say, "Fuck that." I grew up in a time when I couldn't see this everywhere. I grew up in a time where it wasn't on TV as the leading character, or in the video game, or in the comic book, or in the movie, or in the cartoon. So now being a parent and having a lot of it there now, and my kids can see that, I appreciate that. But I'm also giving my kids good content too. Avatar: The Last Airbender, Korra, the Legend of Korra, things like that. Steven Universe, things like that. Like, it's out here. You got to find it. And then whenever we go to shows together, I'm in Artist Alley. I support Kickstarters with, characters of diverse backgrounds and things like that as well. So when we get this stuff, like there's books I specifically get my kids that I think that, I think will work with them, that they'll enjoy, but it's also got a lead character of color in it. And it doesn't matter if it's Asian, Hispanic, Black, Indian, doesn't matter. It's a person of color. It's a minority in a lead role, and that's not something that I see that's not something I saw when I grew up. You're talking to the kid that whenever I got to make a character in a video game, I created a character. I always created a girl, and she was black. I based them off of my sister. So that's all I'm trying to say. Uh, Andy says, Mike, your sales numbers from shops or from publishers, because publishers, especially Marvel, have been known to give print numbers, not sale numbers, or give worldwide sales numbers, not US. The site that I am looking at from it, I believe they said theirs is just actually from the shops, not from Marvel, because the numbers weren't like exact, like like to the crisp or whatever. But I will double check that, and I will post a comment later to follow up with that. CL says numbers don't lie. Glad to see someone backing things with fact. Imani's laughing. I guess he laughed at my earlier comment. So that's kind of like my thing. I don't want to come over here and just like, a lot of this stuff is, based off my experience and things like that. And I do have a heated opinion about things as well. But I know I can't come on here or come out here and talk if I'm not even looking at things to, back that up to a degree, to understand where I'm coming from. Because honestly, where would my argument be? Or, I'm trying to pitch out here to the community, like, go spend your money where you want it to go. Like, look, this is what they see. This is why they're giving you the crap that they're giving you, because this is what the numbers say. Change those numbers, and you will see a change. But it's going to take more than one person. Obviously, obviously that's that's the kicker. It's going to take more than one person to do this. I thought another comment just popped up here. All right, so that is that section, and now we're going to the infamous Q&A section. I'm having a lot of fun with this episode. Sorry. Here, let me show you guys what Mosaic even looks like. I failed to do that. This is Mosaic. So you get a top tier production team of color. You get a lead character of color. Marvel pushes the hell out of this character, and the sales still tank. All right, Carey Randolph is one of the dopest artists out right now. That man is the variant cover. He's elitist in variant covers. You see a Carey Randolph cover, you're like, oh shoot, let me cop that. But he actually did the covers and the interiors, and then you get Karan Grant drawing the variant covers. Man, I should have pulled some of those variant covers up for you, but I didn't think some people would appreciate it. Those covers is hot fire in a good way. All right, so now we're coming up on the infamous question section of Dear Creative, and we are going to get that popping. So the infamous Dear Creative main topic questions. Where do these questions come from? They come from you. I normally post on my Facebook page. Give me some questions to talk about on the show this week, and I get some pretty decent responses. I get some pretty in-depth questions as well. So it is going to be a good conversation today. Sorry about this. Trying to get my screen set up right. And in case you're like wondering, like, what's taking so long for Mike to get the stuff up there? I've tried for the last, well, this week and last week, I've tried two new ways to get my images up. One way was loading them up, but I kind of lost track of them. And this way, I'm actually popping them up on a share screen. I like last week's better, so I'll probably go back to that one. Um, so, our main topic. So, always follow my page on Facebook. Stay tuned to it, and you'll see when I post on my page about topic questions. All right, our first question is coming from Imani. I'd like to hear about your experience teaching comics. All right, so my experience teaching comics is pretty awesome. It's a very enjoyable one. I do a couple different comic book classes, and the basis of my comic book class is the You Create Comics line, and that's done by Victor Dandridge with youcreate.com, youcreatecomics.com, so you can pick up items there. But he has a great character book. I have a lot of fun teaching the class using the character book because I'm a real big person on drawing or making characters look like you and me. People you can bump into and walk on the street, not just the ultra sexy woman or the super chiseled guy, but the dad bod, the thick woman, the fat guy, the fat female, all these different body types, the super skinny character, all that stuff. I try to push that very much so in my classes and tell the kids that, like, you can be a superhero, like, but not like you as this fantasy, but you how you are. Let's draw you as that. I don't force them into that, but I present that idea, and I think it's best to present that idea with examples. And I always have examples of my characters in my books up there so kids can see it. And we have a pretty much open session. I call our room a safe room, so it's okay to talk. And I point out the character Titan, and I always say, "What do you see when you look at this character?" And they try to use every word but fact. They try to say everything polite that they can. And I'm like, "She's fat." Or I'll have that one kid who always just doesn't care, and she's fat. She's fat. So I always have that one kid, but everyone else is trying to be polite. But teaching them that anybody can be epic, anybody can be a character, have superpowers, things like that. My teaching experience is super awesome. I do it for Picktown Artworks. I do it for Ecker Connects, and the You Create products help me out a ton with doing that, and specifically telling the story. And it's actually how I got one of my new panels that I'll be doing at future shows here. It's a story time with Mike, where I tell the story of one of my comic books, but I tell it like I'm reading out loud and I'm being super overacting and things like that. And but overall, it's a great experience. I have a lot of fun with it. I continue to do it. I've done a card game that does math, that not forces, but pushes the narrative of teaching kids to use math, simple math, in their head and getting used to it. Telling stories that actually are relatable to kids, with what they're facing. Like right now in the class, we're working on the whole bullying thing, but coming up with where bullies are coming from. Because for the most part, a bully is a bully because of a past experience or something that they're going through. Not everybody wants to see the world burn. That's not the majority of bullies. Bullies are getting bullied, or they're experiencing something, and then they in turn take that out on other people. So I've been talking to the kids about that and coming up with characters, their bully origin story and stuff like that. So all in all, it's a great experience. Um, Amani says, "Do you focus on character design, or do they actually make a book?" For that first lesson, we focus on character design. That the character book that Vic provides us covers all the bases: logo, color, scheme, head, shoulder, arm, legs, chest, all that stuff, plus the body type, a power chart, the name, how the character got their power, where did it devise from, all that stuff. So we really focus on that. That's one class I teach. And I teach another class, which is actual making the comic book page, where we're getting into the writing and using the right vocabulary for making comic books. I use the right book, the book that Victor has for writing comic books, for teaching the kids that. And then we actually go into laying out a book, a comic page. How do you lay it out? How do you design that page? How do you tell a story on that page? What are sequentials and things like that? So I kind of keep those classes separated. I start them off with the character class, and then if they're really biting at the teeth for it, then I'll recommend the other comic book class or whatnot. And I have different levels for that as well. Shaggy is saying, I buy books because it's good, not because of color diversity. That's why my daughter loves Vigilance, because it's good, not because she's black and reading a black hero. She loves it because it's great. Thank you so much, Andy. And that's what we really go for. We want to make the book good. I appreciate you saying that, Andy. So don't think that I'm just doing culture or diversity for diversity's sake. I do it because it's what's around me. It's what I see every day. I went to the Cleveland School of Arts, and I've gone to Columbus College of Art and Design. I was around all types of people, so why wouldn't I draw all types of people? But even while so it comes as second nature to me. I'm like, this is just what it is. I don't say, oh, I gotta do this. It's just what it is. And then when we make the character, we're like, all right, so how do we make it a good book? How do we make it a good story? So we go into that. All right. So next question. I hope I answered that for you, Monty. The importance of a log line. Log lines are super important. Important. I went to pitch to Sony twice. And I made it to the third level with Hotshot, the log line for Hotshot, and I did not get past the first level for my log line for Vigilance. So log lines, just for that aspect, are super important. They've got to be tight, they got to be quick, and they got to be popping. They got to be something that makes an eye light up. Especially when you're pitching. I have all the log lines for all 5 of my books, and I do what's called a 2-minute spiel at my table. So when I'm at my table, I hit all the log lines while talking about the books. You know, how many copies of the books, how much the books cost, and things like that. And I have to do it in 2 minutes because I'm not trying to take up this person's time that's coming to my table. So log lines are super important. So you really got to think about that catchy log line. My favorite log line is Heroes International. So here we go. So we bring up Heroes International. Heroes International is our premier superhero team, and this may not exactly constitute a log line, but it's quick. Heroes International is our premier superhero team. They're just like your Avengers or your Justice League, with one key exception: they suck. They're the worst team ever created. And then I move on to the next one. And once I give that they suck, people always laugh. There's not one person that has not laughed and then picked up that book after that. So log lines are super, super important. You got to have log lines. You got to have them ready. You got to start. If you do not have a log line for your book, work on it now. Make a log line. Next up, CL Bedell hits me. I hear your thoughts are going on how to choose the people you work with when putting a team together for a project, and your process for deciding which projects you want to tackle. Are you a guy who lets projects come to you? Do you actually hunt for projects, or do you stick to your own ideas and search out people to make them reality? All right. At the teat. At the teat. Thank you. Thank you very much. I will always mess up a phrase without a shadow of a doubt. There will at least be one phrase that I will mess up. All right. So, CL. So let's break this question down. Let's hear your thoughts regarding people you work with when putting a team together. All right. So my thought process for putting a team together has actually changed a lot since in the very beginning, and probably so. Victor was there in the beginning. Danny Cooper has always been there. Maybe like a little bit after Vic. Ren McKenzie's always been there. Veronica Smith has been there for like the last 3 years. So that's kind of like the wheelhouse, my foundation team for FSK or whatever or whatnot. Yes, it is. CL is referred to as an elevator pitch in Hollywood. And that's what I had to do when I went to go submit stuff to Sony about turning our books into possible movies. I had to give them the elevator pitch. But so when coming up with teams that I want to work with, there's always going to be somebody that you have a bad experience with. And even though you have a bad experience with that person, somebody else could have a great experience with that person. So it's really about finding people that work well with you. That have the mentality or mind for what you're trying to do. But in order to do that, you've got to figure out what you want to do. You got to figure out what that is. And I can honestly say I didn't really have a clear picture of what that was. My idea was always putting out comic books, but never the how, who, what, when, and where to say. I just wanted to make comic books, and that was it. And it's financial hassle. It's a huge financial hurdle, and you got to figure out ways to get around that. And I've made some mistakes. Please do not get it twisted or get it wrong. I've made some mistakes. I've done some good decisions. I made some bad decisions. I still make mistakes. It's a learning process. It's never going to be perfect. Even when you're completely financially stable with it, it's still not going to be perfect. But um, I try to find people that I see work as hard as I do, that are as passionate as I am, in their own way, that are enthusiastic and as energetic about making comic books. So, and you're not going to figure that out right off the bat. You're not going to discover that from a person just meeting them in the first place. So it's a matter of testing the waters and seeing what they bring to the table. So I may sign people or whatever for one book and seeing how that goes. If that goes well, then I'll bring them on for the next book. I've learned over time, in dealing with people, how much I let people in before I give them full access. um, Danny Cooper and Veronica Smith, they're pretty much running Freestyle Comics, while I'm over Short Fuse Media, and it took me a while to get in and get in good with Sean. Sean Mack made me the publisher of Short Fuse Media. It was a whole year before that even happened, and I didn't even realize that was happening. I just, when I look back on it, I noticed the more me and Sean and I were having more and more conversations about making comic books, about what I was doing at FSK, or what's going to happen with Short Fuse, or he'd chime ideas off of me to see what I thought of it. Or he would just call me sometimes just a vent. And in that venting, we talk about it, and I'm like, oh shit, I never thought about anything like that on that scale. And so that relationship just developed. And Sean's one of the people I talk to damn near every day now. Veronica and Danny have been there. Veronica, she probably just got into the fold about 3 or 4 years ago, but Veronica showed us without us even asking. Like, she just did more work than what she was on contract for, and she didn't do it to ask for more money. She did it because she cared about the product that had her name attached to it. And the more and more I saw that, the more and more we gave to Veronica. Like, oh, so you want to be because Veronica's now an associate. She's the lead colorist, but now she's the associate editor at Freestyle Comics. And she started her own. She said, "Hey, I got this idea for a webcomic. Can I run with it?" And I said, "Sure, sounds good." Danny said, "Sure," or rather, and she ran with it. And now Danny and her have been working on that and just cracking. Like, those are people that I trust with the product, with the Freestyle Comics brand. Victor, me and Victor have almost come to blows before. Since when we've been at it since the beginning, since I came to Columbus and really, really developed Hotshot, and we've almost come to blows with it. But knowing him that long, and I've never gotten into a verbal altercation or a physical one with somebody about my IP. Somebody cared that much about my IP, where it was going, and what it was doing, that he wanted to knock me square in my jaw, and I wanted to knock him square in his. So when you see that type of passion for something that you're working on, something that you created, you figure out what's going on, how you guys can make a common ground, see what it really is, and then you move forward with it. And Victor has been there ever since. Even though Victor has started You Create, he's done the 8-bits. He does Ventures in-house productions. He was all over the con circuit and everything. Even though he's branched off and completely done his own thing, he's still a part of FSK. He's still part of that core, that foundation of FSK. And kind of like when I'm filling out for teams or people to bring on board, I pull up Victor, I pull up Danny, I pull up Veronica, I pull up Sean, and I pull up Ren. Does this person, if I'm thinking about like bringing them onto the team, I'm like, does this person have all of the qualities that I share with these people? I use them for a gauge, as what it is. And project you want to say? Now, as far as projects I want to tackle, I pretty much will take any project. It's really got to be out there for me to say no, I don't want it or whatnot. And simply for the experience, just be able to say I did do this, and I can tell you if I want to do it again or not based off that. I don't really hunt for projects. I do let projects come to me But if I do see something, I will go for it. So I'm not like constantly looking online for something to do or whatnot. I do, my door's open for commissions and freelance work. A lot of people know that. People will make recommendations to me. If I see something online, yeah, that I'm like, oh shoot, I want to do that. Yeah, I will definitely go after it. There's people to make them a reality. And yeah, I have reached out to some people. There's some other members of FSK that I have that are fitting those qualities of the five, and I brought them on board, and we are working on projects, a whole different project under the FSK banner that we want to release later on, that we're including into the fold, into the fabric of freestyle comics. So definitely, like, there are people there that I'm looking like, oh yeah, you have similar qualities. You have this. I like this in you. I like that, and that's stuff that from the five that I'm seeing in you. So I'm interested in bringing you on for more, not just hey, do this gig here. And there's been options where I have brought somebody on and they fit those qualities, but then, because we don't see eye to eye, or I have made a mistake, or they've done something that I didn't agree with, there it's not there anymore. And sometimes you can't get past that, um, because then it delves into other things or whatnot. So it's kind of just like it's like life, man. You just gotta take it one person at a time. But you learn, you live and you learn what you like and what you don't like, and you just try to apply that to the next person that comes around. Alrighty. Next question, Veronica Smith. Speak of the devil. You've probably talked about this before, but I'll expand on Lawrence's question with a more specific. Hard sale. How do you turn a customer around who is reluctant to take a chance on your product? Okay, so hard sale and a soft sale. A soft sale is a person that comes over to your table and is already interested in your product. They are picking it up. You don't have to invoke them over to you because they've already walked up with interest and they're flipping through, figuring out what they like and what they don't like at your table. A hard sale is somebody that you actually have to invoke interest, that you have to reach out to and bring them over, or it's pitch it to bring them over or whatnot. And with a hard sale, I try a number of different things. I probably so I guess I can answer this a couple ways. The first way is I invoke a hard sell every day I'm at a comic book convention, because I do what's called the hype line. I give people tickets to come to my table to get free items, and to get those free items, you got to listen to me talk about my product in the 2 minute set, the 2 minute pitch. So whenever people bring me that ticket, I lay it down. I give them the 2 minute pitch. I tell them, hey, you ain't got to buy nothing. If you do, it's great. If not, you're not gonna hurt my feelings. But here's your free item. Hold up. And so those are hard sales, because I keep track of my numbers for it. In Philadelphia on Friday, on Friday I was doing 50% conversion. That means that person had no interest in my book. They came over to get a free item and I converted them to a sale. On Saturday and Sunday I was more like 45% on conversions. So those are hard sales or whatnot. And my best thing that I try to do is relate to them, try to make them smile, try to make them laugh, invoke a regular conversation. If people come over, I look at what they have. I look at what artwork they have, or what comics they have, what they have on. If I see somebody dressed up as Spider-Man, I'll reach out and say, hey, you like Spider-Man? You might like my book. Come check this out. And then I'll put the book in their hand. There's loads of stuff like this, like that. Like I saw one girl walk past my table and I just said, hi, hey, what's up? That print looks cool. What's that print? And then she showed me the print. I was like, oh, wow, that's dope. And then while I was looking at the print, she looked down. She's like, oh, you do art too. Flipped through my stuff. And she's like, well, what's this? She saw the book. She liked the book. And I flipped through it. Then she bought it. That's just saying hello. One of my things is that at comic book conventions, you need to talk to at least 85 to 90% of the people that walk past your table. And not just talk to them with the indiction to sell something. You need to talk to them, just like geek out with them. Say hi, say what's up. Oh, I love your shirt. That's a dope print. Can I see it? Just have casual conversation with them. And if you have to let that person go without doing a sale, then let that person go without doing a sale. Everything at a comic convention does not have to be sell, 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 sell. It just that getting that flow of saying hello and what's up to people and having a geek conversation here or there is loosening you up for your sales pitch. But it's also letting people see that are around you, that are walking past you, see that you're a regular person. You're not just a salesperson, that you are a geek too. And that might even get them involved in the conversation or stopping over to look to your stuff. Either way it goes, it's a win-win either way. So what's one that I did that I really enjoy? And I sometimes I will play the color card if I see um a family of color and I see them walk past with their kids and I see them with Spider-Man and stuff like that. I'll say, "Hey, excuse me, can I talk to you for a second?" And they'll sometimes they'll come over, sometimes they won't. And I say, "I see you're rocking that Spider-Man book. I just want to let you know I make comic books. And you didn't know that. You didn't know that till I just told you. And I make comic books with characters that look like you and me. I want you to give this book a chance. Just flip through it. Tell me what you think. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. But you would have never known about it if you didn't stop over here to talk to me for a second. Because that's the thing, they don't know about me. Nobody knows about me. I go into comic book conventions. I might have about 10, maybe 15% of people come back to comic book conventions and have me on their checklist to say, oh yeah, I got to make sure I stop by Mike Watson's table because he'll be here this year and get my new books. Other than that, I'm pitching to a bunch of new people that don't know who I am. And I've got to treat it like that. And I've got to come up with new ways to talk to them and invoke them over to buy the stuff. Because the one thing that's always going to be prevalent is that people are going to buy your stuff because they like you first. They're going to buy. Most times they buy it because you like it. They like you. And then if they buy your product and it happens to be good, that's the bonus on top. Now, I'm not saying that people don't just buy stuff that they like because they like it or they like the way it looks. That does happen. But as far as, out there in most situations that I've been involved in, that I've experienced, that people have bought my books because they like me. And then I'd have had people walk up and see the book and say, oh, I'm an indie collector. Oh, this looks good. What is this? And, so I've got a mix of each and other. I may even throw in a freebie too. If I got somebody like on the edge and they like, oh, this number one issue, they got that in their hand. I say, hey, I'll give you a print on top of that too, or I'll put a button in there for free too. And, sometimes that does it too. It's living and learning. All right. I think we're on question. Yeah, the art of the Comic Con pitch. And I believe I just actually went into that with Veronica's question. Pitching for a Comic Con is at a Comic Con at a table. Nothing will sharpen your blade faster than sitting at a table pitching your book. And I've been doing it for several years here, and I think I'm very comfortable with it. I'm not the greatest at it, but I'm very comfortable with pitching at a Comic Con. I will never have cold feet pitching my book ever. But again, that comes from experience. That comes from doing it a lot, and that comes from getting out there. And I kind of have no embarrassment card as well. So, but you've got to figure out what your Comic Con pitch is because you can lose people if you say too much, if you linger on too long. But if you don't say enough, you can lose them too because they're like, that doesn't tell me anything. So, and it's a mix up. You can't do the same thing every time, man. You gotta switch it up because you'll get tired of it. You'll get bored with it. But every person's different as well. Some people you need to put the book in their hand. Some people can go off the pitch. Some people you can go off of making them a joke. Some people, and sometimes you got to think about the sale that you're going to get tomorrow. And when I say that because there's times when I have a bunch of people at my table and I might stand up in my seat or stand up on the table and I have my mic on like I do now. And I'll be talking to that crowd about, hey, thanks for coming back. We're going to do our raffle today real quick, real fast for the newcomers. I'm Mike Watson. I'm with Freestyle Comics. I'm going to give you guys the 2-minute pitch real quick, tell you about my books and what I do. Then we're going to go into that raffle. Yeah, those people already heard all that, right? I don't care. I'm talking to all the people around them. I'm talking to people walking past them. I'm talking to the dude or the girl down the aisle that is listening, that hears my voice. They might hear something that I like, that they like, and that might pull them down there. I'm talking to everybody when I'm doing things like that. And that may not necessarily generate into a sale that day or that moment, but they might come back the next day and say, hey man, I heard you on your table talking and I want to know more about this book you were speaking on. And I'm not just saying like that's a maybe. That has definitely happened. that has happened a lot at shows for me. Um, so that and that. Okay. All right. Mike Lancet comes in with his question, his monstrous question. Mike, you've mentioned before that you have 100 issues planned for your flagship title, Hotshot. You've penciled every issue of Hotshot so far, I think. I have. Yes, I have. And you and I both know that penciling an entire book is a lot of work. But with your current responsibilities to FSK and Short Fuse, do you have any plans on how to keep the momentum going for the series since your attention is divided among several projects these days? In other words, even though I know you're the lead artist for the Hotshot series, could you ever imagine allowing another pencil to step in and work on certain issues here and there so you have the room to breathe while consistently keeping Hotshot in production? Let's say, for example, that you have various arcs planned for the series. What if another penciler stepped in and started penciling an arc while you were working on another part of the story? I'm just curious because 100 issues is a massive goal, and I'd love to see you reach it. However, I've been extremely curious to find out what adjustments, if any, you and the FSK squad plan on making to reach that epic number 100. Thanks. So, this is a real good question because I do have Hotshot plotted for 100 issues. And it's really funny because Vic just talked to me about an idea for those 100 issues and plotting them, which is what I want to do for them, which is a great idea. I'm not going to tell you right now, but you'll see it soon in play. But the thing is, I am the publisher of Short Fuse, and we're managing about a lot of comics over at Short Fuse. I'm the publisher over there doing that. All right. And then at FSK, we have 6 titles. And with on the tip of 7 coming out that we're working on. Right. I've penciled all the issues of Hotshot. Hotshot has 10 books out right now. And then I also pick and choose what covers I want to do because I own them. I can do that. That's my choice. So Mike brings up a very, very important question. I want Hotshot to get to 100. I really do. Because we have some massively crazy epic stories planned. Could I ever imagine somebody penciling Hotshot? Now I could. Back then, no. And that was more of a personal thing is I didn't want somebody to draw Hotshot and draw better than me. So that when I came back on it, people didn't like my art. They liked the other person better. So that was an ego thing. Now, I've always wanted to draw every issue because I wanted to be able to say I drew all 100 issues of Hotshot. That's the thing that I wanted to go for. But with everything that I'm doing, plus, all the stuff I'm doing for Dear Creative, I have the good, the bad, and the nerdy. I go to comic book conventions. I teach art classes. And I'm married with kids. I do have to have a home life, too. And some of the things that in discussions with Danny, the editor-in-chief of Freestyle Comics, these are things that I am thinking about of potentially letting somebody draw Hotshot and I draw an issue as well. So we're drawing the books at the same time and we start getting these books coming out more. Because that's one thing that I really do. And it's not super important that books come out all the time. This is my thing. I want books out. I want to be able to say I got books coming out on a regular, consistent basis. That's my thing. But in order to do that, that comes with that comfort and fixing the issues that we have, which I spoke on earlier, that we are trying to do better in the future, which is why we are kind of laid back this year to try to come back large in 2020. So I can absolutely see it, and it's actually something that I am considering doing so these books can come out and we can get this go. Because what I have going on through issue 20 and 25 of Hotshot is big, it's a lot, and it's going to intersect with several different books all at once. So yeah, to answer that question, I absolutely could see somebody else drawing it. It's not what I want because the ego inside of me wants to draw all the books. So I want to draw all of Hotshot, and I want to be able to have that, and I want to be able to say that. But again, I got to look at what's the bigger picture. And the same thing when I first did the books. When I first did Hotshot, I was so concerned with making the book look good that I kept redrawing the pages over and over and over and over and over again. What's the bigger picture? a perfect book or a book that comes out. Because a perfect book ain't never coming out. But a book that I'm satisfied with is coming out. And now I've got 10 issues of that, 3 issues of Vigilance, 2 issues of The Cipher, 3 issues of Emerald Quest, 3 issues of Heroes International, 1 issue of Zero Event, and with another book that we're working on, another character that we're developing for a book. So, if I never got out of that hole, thanks, Vic, I wouldn't be where the number that I'm at now. And that's with the limited knowledge that I had back then. I'm out here in 2019, 20 years of making comics to freestyle comics. I'm not saying I know everything. I don't. But I have a lot more knowledge back then, now than I did back then. So it's about keeping keeping that creative team that makes things happen. It's about putting the right people in the right places. It's about learning to say, I need to let this go in order to do that. Because we're going to have some books stop running on hiatus to focus on other books. But getting somebody else to draw the book while I'm drawing another arc, that's not a bad idea at all. So I'm totally open for that. Vic, like I said, came up with a great idea that I'm going to start working on for the 100 issues. But yeah, I think actually I do want to do that. Like, of course, I'm going to draw as much as I can for Hotshot. I'm not saying I'm not drawing it, and that's not something I'm going to do all the time. But I may say, hey, I'm working on issue 15. I want you to do issue 16 because issue 16 is a one shot, and I want to be able to jump right to issue 17. You know what I'm saying? So there it's learning how to use the things that you have. I just saw that, Mike, that you gave me a warning, long comment, long question. So that is the goal, because we have some very there's some very big things planned, man. Like what we have on the table for our map, for our timeline, for plotting, involves all the books, involves Emerald Quest. Emerald Quest is a big set piece for it. Danny came up with some stuff yesterday that he's excited about that he wants to go over with me, which I'm sure we're going to talk about on our trip down to Washington for BlurredCon. So, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. All right. So, boom. All right. Oh wait, here it comes. But got some comments here. What if someone did the layouts or rough pencils out for you so that you could pencil over it and not think about every page panel so much? So that's a good one. I didn't think about that. That's a good thing. That would actually, that would actually help out a fucking ton, actually, because that is what takes the most time, laying out the book. And between Shaggy and Mike, we got a couple good ideas here. Some stuff definitely to consider. CL, yeah, man, you can have some other artists penciling upcoming issues while you work on the current ones, given that the future issues are already written and good to go. Yeah. This is the legitimacy in this is weighing on me. All right. So I think, unless we got some more questions or comments here, I think that's the show. I'm gonna wrap this up. So where will I be at next week? I'll be at BlurredCon, baby, in Virginia, Washington, D.C. BlurredCon, here I come, making our inaugural debut. Cannot wait to hit this show, man. I'm super excited. All right, and we're gonna have Vigilance in the building with us. Yes. D Coop is gonna be down there with me. And we're gonna be out here slinging these floppies, slinging these prints. I don't have any panels, so I will be at the table for the vast majority of the weekend. But that means I'm going to make an event at the damn table. So stay tuned to see what we're going to have posted or cracking at BlurredCon. I'll be making announcements all throughout the week what I'll be doing for that show or whatnot. Then after that, I got invited to Wizard World Pittsburgh. Was not expecting that. Super excited about that. Can't wait. Going to Wizard World Pittsburgh. So the new thing that I have going on that I will announce. All right, see you, Panda. Thanks, man. Thanks for tuning in. Shaggy's right. The layouts are the most difficult part because that's where all the composition plans are. Yeah. All right. So I started this battle card collector set at Wizard World, Philadelphia. Started off with I think 15 cards in a set. In the first set, so they feature characters from Freestyle Comics, but they also have a little life meter, and they have a power, they have an attack, and things like that. Real simple. But each card's different. You can collect them, and you can do the battle game with it, or you can just collect the cards. So I decided to make this a con exclusive thing. So whatever show I'm going to, I'm gonna have a different set of cards. So you can collect by the shows that I go to. And I will have 6 cards for BlurredCon that will be part of the free ticket item giveaway. You'll be able to pick one, or you can buy a full set if you want. So I'll be revealing those cards a little later this week. Maybe not all of them. I don't know. But they coming. BlurredCon edition set for this battle set. It will be 6 cards, and that's what's up. Next up, going to Pittsburgh. Now you can follow me. Let's see here. I don't think I have. There we go. You can follow me as Art of Mike Watson on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can also follow me as FS Comics or Freestyle Comics on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Be sure to give us a follow on Short Fuse's Facebook page. Go hit up the Short Fuse store on shortfusemediagroup.com. Boom! Because we have all our comics up there, comic shirts, all types of goodness, even toys that you can buy on that website. Be sure to check and sign up for, or check us out on The Good, the Bad, and the Nerdy. All right. That is a new show that I've been doing with Katie May. We are about 10 episodes in and having a good time. You can follow us on The Good, the Bad, and the Nerdy on Facebook, and THE Nerdy on Twitter as well. So I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in, and I know I'm doing different time slots. I'm trying to find what time slot works the best for this show or whatnot. Once I pick that time slot, it will be that same time slot every single week. I appreciate you bearing with me through this whole construction phase as I figure out what works, what doesn't work, what I like and what I don't like. Thank you for tuning in and providing your questions. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and follow or dislike our page at the Dear Creative. All right. And share it to people. Talk about it. Please get it out there. The more subscribers we have, the better. The more people can get included on this conversation. I have a good time doing this stuff. I'm having fun doing it with 5 people or 100 people. It don't matter to me. I'm still going to do it no matter what. But again, thank you for tuning in. This is Mike Watson with Freestyle Comics, Short Fuse Media. I am the Super Mad Brother. I'm part of The Good, the Bad, and the Nerdy, the most enthusiastic person in comics, and I already said Superman Brother. Dang it, I messed up my whole tagline. Oh well. Hey, good night. Thank you for tuning in, and as always, stay epic.